such a lovely Basanti day today. I'm just going to let the jury know that today we are going to have rapid fire questions for you. So let us keep the answers to one sentence at the most. So we start with Taseer Gujral, who has been judging poetry. What do you appreciate more in a collection of poetry? Cohesiveness or brilliance of individual poems in a book?
Actually, you can't view. Sorry. Yeah. Hello, good evening. So, you can't really view one thing in isolation. Mm-hmm. So, poetry, like I'm thinking of Keats, you have to think of poetry as leaves come to a tree. So, it has to be a very, very organic, dance between the substance and the style. So, okay. I think both are necessary.
Right. Your next question, Taseer. In a romantic poem, honesty or intensity? If someone were to write it for you, what would you appreciate?
Both. Again.
Both?
Yeah, both. Has to be both. Has to be both. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it can't be intense if it's not honest. It has to come from a place of, total honesty.
Okay. Yeah. So honesty is more important, you feel?
Both.
All right.
Yeah.
So now we move on to Professor Radha Chakravarty, who's one of the jury for Poetry 2. The first question for you, Radha, is craft or emotion? What is more important for you in poetry?
I think the craft needs to bring out the emotion, and the emotion, in a sense, produces the craft. Without either, the poem would not be a poem, it would go dead.
What a politically correct answer. All right. So the second question goes, rhythm or free verse? What carries more appeal for you?
I think for me, rhythm is important. Not necessarily rhyme, but rhythm does matter, sound matters, the music of poetry or the dissonance of poetry. Either way, I think how it sounds and the pulse beat, the heartbeat of the poem matters.
Thank you. We move on to the next juror for poetry, Professor Seema Jain. Seema ji, did you discern a shared concern in poetry submitted this year? In the collection of poetry submitted this year? By a shared concern, I mean that were there some concerns, social or whichever, or humane, which stood out?
I think my answer to that would be that there were shared concerns. First of all, at the personal level, grief, I think, was a predominant element in many poets, their poetry. After that, social concerns, yes, environmental concerns. But there was a lot of diversity despite the shared concerns.
Okay. So the second question goes, what touches you more? Poetry depicting human pain or valor?
I think if I be subjective, my answer would be human pain touches you more. But being objective, I think whatever is portrayed well, that would touch your heart.
Thank you. Thank you. So for fiction, we have only one juror who is present with us today. That is Professor Mokkil. So I would like to ask you, in a crowded field of fiction, what mattered more to you when you were judging? Structure or thematic depth?
Okay. I mean, again, going back to what the first jury was saying, it really was a combination of the two, but, because there were a lot of repeated themes, but I think the way it was crafted, right? Like some of the novels really drew you in because of the, innovativeness of the form, both, I think, because they were novels and short stories in the fiction category, and in both cases, I think the structuring really, stood out, combined with the theme. Yeah.
Okay, so the second question goes, what do you think of unconventional writing styles that have come up in contemporary fiction? Are they risky or attention getting, or do you think that they can set a new style?
I think they can set a new style because, one of the interesting things about reading, like we got almost 70 books in fiction. Reading them together was massive. But one of the ways some of the books stood out, I think, was because they really paid attention to the changes in the literary scene and how literature is sort of coexisting with other forms. So, like, say, journalism or history, or even like children's writing, right? Like the whimsical, how that could come in, like, or blogs, so the ways in which some of these, literary forms were also paying sort of homage to the changing scene of media forms today. So that, I think, is the new mode of writing, right? Like, because we're consuming all these things together as readers too. So yeah, I do think it's very good for the moment, yeah.
All right, thank you. So now we move on to the non-fiction section. Can we please bring it here? Sir, you've written both fiction and non-fiction. All right.
Yes.
So my first question to you is research versus reader engagement.
Reader engagement any day. Did you complete the question?
You very, very fast in answering. Yes, that is what I wanted to ask. What engages you more?
So reader engagement any day, but then non-fiction without research is incomplete. Both are important. But then a book has to be loved. It has to grip you. It has to captivate you, at least mildly. And ma'am read 70 books. I read 64. So I think we are here for a rapid fire, but to distill that work into the work which the jury did for Wise Owl, which is a proud moment for me again, I'm here for the second time, is something which was massive. But then going slow, giving it time, and then if something really gripped me, engaged with me, and the research was a little flawed, maybe it seemed a little out of place, some things, I didn't mind. But the research is, of course, very important. So it's a very difficult question to answer, but engagement is number one.
Tell me in my ear, did you read all of them?
Almost.
I'm not going to tell you, or I'll tell you later what he said. So now the second question is good book versus an award-worthy book.
I must admit
Where
to
does the cutting edge lie?
Sure. I must admit to the rest of the panel that I had a glance at your sheet before while they were answering their questions. So I had about 2 minutes to mull over my answers. So I'm like rapid fire is not. But a good book. What is good? Good is such an omnibus word. I mean, good is something which is. It's like saying something is nice, something is good, which is inadequate. So I think there are features in a book which have to be present. An award-winning book depends on the jury and the opinion of the jury. A universally acceptable book would be more my kind of book, which appeals. I mean, it's like I can't disassociate it from films which are popular versus films which are appreciated by the jury, by the Oscars or whatever. So I think the mass appeal is more important, especially when we're talking about books which are losing their mass appeal and which we have to bring back their appeal. So if I write for this audience and only this audience loves my books in the whole world, I'd rather write a less good book which is loved by more people. If I'm making my point clear. I mean, there's nothing against this audience. It's a fantastic audience. But not only this audience, I want more people to read my book.
I'm sorry, I have to ask this question.
But it's not printed over there.
No. That is why, because you read it, you need something now that isn't printed. What about Gulshan Nanda books versus Sharat Chandra? Gulshan Nanda was more widely liked and read.
I must admit I read neither of them, but I would say Sharat Chandra in that case. I don't know. I haven't read Gulshan Nanda.
You ought to.
Okay.
So now, Professor Meenakshi Bharat, yes. Another non-fiction juror. What makes a book more persuasive? An argumentative style or just plain information? What carries more weight?
It's interesting you're talking about argumentative style and what was the other one? And information, pure information.
Facts and figures.
Facts and figures. In fact, neither of them on its own. I think since we've read those 64 books, I've been doing this. There were books that were this thin, there were books that were this fat, and one went through all of them. And
Sharmishta was the thickest one. The
Exactly.
Bengali actor. I mean, he was, but it was probably, I mean, not giving out any secrets. It was one of the best books I read.
Absolutely. In any case, so as a, as a jurist for the non-fiction category, I think what really finally holds the fort and gets the results is the combination of the techniques of fiction. The narrative style, the kind of insights that come with engaging with the poetry of the words through the non-fiction. So what I'm trying to actually say is that just information will not really reap any dividends in terms of readership. Just fact will not do it. So what we are actually talking about is not reporting of facts, but the curation of a reality through this non-fiction.
Well explained. Now the second question for you. What makes a motivational book a bestseller? Is it for example, is it the image of the man on the cover who's written it? Or is it the substance? What is it?
Again, no, it's not the man on the cover, but let me just talk of it from my personal background. Coming from an army background, I was an army brat. So obviously there were a lot of books about army people by people associated with the services. So naturally I was interested in those books, but that's where it stood. Finally, it is once again not only the person, but how that person is able to communicate and reach out the personal journey through the words that he or she is using. And I think once again the craft comes in. Craft is very important, and I think that is something that just cannot be denied. That if you don't have the art of communicating what you want to communicate, if you don't have the art of inspiring with with choosing the right words, then it's a lost case. It has to come together.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I hope now we have a bit of a peek into the minds of the jurors. What made them choose the books that they did? And thank you so very much. All of you have... I am so sorry. Why don't I have your name? Okay, all right. I'm so sorry. So this is about non-fiction again. In this world where we are all running, and there is very little time to read, and people are flipping over the screen most of the time. What makes you think that a youngster will pick up non-fiction to read? What is he looking for when he picks up a non-fiction, which is not his course book, which is not related to his profession?
So that makes writing non-fiction a very difficult thing to do in this world. People have their own prejudices, thought processes, and if somebody picks up a book, naturally he picks up a book for a specific study in a particular area, like history, philosophy, or anything. he would he would first go through the table of contents and see what is the content, and does it answer my questions, or has it been written coherently, or so it's very difficult for a reader to first pick up a book till he starts reading and the book engages him and book starts speaking to him. Book raises his, I would say, critical thinking. He has questions in his mind, and if the book is able to answer those questions, then of course the book becomes engaging, and he would recommend that book to others also. It's not that non-fictions are not popular, they become popular. But popularity, I would say, is no measure of a good book.
That's a very interesting statement. Would you elaborate?
You see popular videos on the YouTube and this, 1 million hit and talks nonsense. Or misinformation, disinformation, there is no truth, no facts, nothing. Because somebody makes an emotional appeal for something or the other, people watch and utter nonsense. Kuch bhi nahi hota. Why should people read such books? There is so much of books written by, there are books available on the stands, I would say, on airport and the popular books. But read the book. They corrupt the history, they corrupt everything. But people read it. हम जब जाते थे ट्रेन में मनोर कहानियां पढ़ते थे.
Well, that's fiction. That's not
fiction,
non-fiction.
But that is popular.
So I'll ask you one more question about motivational non-fiction. Do you think that it really changes people's thinking?
Look, I am personally not in favor of these motivational non-fiction books at all, because some say you do 5 things and do this, do 7 things. This is their own subjective thinking. It's not that it's one set of rules apply for everyone. There's so many people around the world. So these motivational books, I personally don't personally recommend to anyone.
May I please take a second on this? I have to argue with you, sir. I have a motivational book called Finding Success Within. Would you rather write demoralizing books? Would you rather that we deflate the already deflated mindset of the society? Who is going to inspire?
Look, I don't know.
You're talking about a self-help kind of book of a particular domain. But inspiration and motivation are almost synonymous.
I am not in favor of those books because there is a lot of subjective thinking, and it unnecessarily generates complex in the reader, whether he should follow it or not, or whether what he should
To that
do.
limited extent,
Yes,
agreed.
there is an issue related to that.
Yes.
I think big motivation to talk of motivation. I think the categorization of books in terms of motivation and inspiration is the key point here. The fact is that books which are not in those formats, do this, do that kind of format, there are books that can motivate through lives, autobiographies.
Yeah, biographies,
lives.
yes, that's a different.
Those are motivational themselves. Even a novel can be motivational, even a poem can be motivational. So this is something that we need to recognize, that motivation is not a bad thing at all. Inspiration is not a bad thing at all, but how it comes and how it is couched, it could be, I mean, I don't like that terminology of self-help, but how it comes and how it is couched is important. Again, I come back to the craft.
We need another session on this.
Exactly.
sometime.
I have so much to
We
say.
shouldn't take too much time. Right?
Yes, it's not my place to remark on this today, but maybe I'll do it at tea time. So thank you so much, all of you, for being here and speaking about how you reached your judgments. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.